for backup because come
Wow.
on.
Yeah,
Darth Vader. You call for backup. You
Darth
scared.
Vader, that's right.
that's right. That's
Wow.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Huh?
listen,
Huh?
we are
E
we are
Skywalker.
we are already live.
Hey guys.
Friends, family, what's going on, everybody?
Hello.
Glad y'all could join me. Once again, this is another installment of Feel Free TV, and we just feel free to talk about anything. Usually, we talk about the criminal justice system, prison reform. I just don't want to limit it to that because the name of the TV show is called Feel Free. Okay, so we're gonna have to be feel free to talk about everything. All right. So, okay, Jada Free, what's up? How you doing?
Hi Jada.
Shout out to Jada Free.
That's my homie. That's my homegirl.
Okay,
That's
Back
it. I
up.
could tell. That's one of her
Back up.
backup shooters. All
that's
right.
that's what her shooters.
Yeah.
Mine. That's one of my people.
Okay,
Don't get crazy, Jada.
what's going on, Jada? So, one of the first questions is it okay for men to call women fat or vice versa? So, we're going to start with Kamisha.
All right. Well, I think that it's not okay for men to call women fat because women are very sensitive creatures. And by men calling a woman fat, it hurts their self-esteem and it makes them eat more and they feel like not appreciated. So no, I don't agree with that.
But do you think it's okay for women to call men fat?
Yes, I do. Because men have tougher skin and it's fine. Like men shouldn't be fat. No woman wants to date a fat man. Okay. So no. Yeah, it's fine for a woman to call a man fat. Your ego's not going to be broken.
How
So,
you know that?
yeah, like why would you think that a man doesn't have feelings, doesn't have emotions, can't get hurt? Why do you feel like
Men
that?
don't show emotions. Men are tough. Men are strong. Women are more sensitive. So when you calling a woman fat, you are hurting her self-esteem. You're making her feel like she's not worthy. For a man, it's like if you call them fat, they need to go to the gym and work on their weight. It's a difference.
Oh, so women don't need to work on their weight.
Listen, I
I
said what I
mean,
said.
this is what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, she said I said what I said.
I said what I said.
that's a double standard. That
I
is a
said
double
what
standard.
I said.
So that means you're okay with double standards. That's what you're saying. You're saying oh, double
No,
standards are
I'm
okay.
not okay with it, but it's
What do you
different.
mean?
You can't call a woman fat. You
Yes,
can't.
you can.
Jada,
First
back
of
me
all,
up.
in my opinion,
Okay.
I feel like this. I'm not gonna just walk up to any individual and say, "Hey, you're fat. You need to lose weight." If I know someone and we have a rapport, I'm gonna let them know that listen, you're fat. This is not good for your health. These are ways that you could lose weight. You can start with your diet, start eliminating things from your diet, start trying these exercises out. But hey, you're fat. You need to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? Jada said, I think calling each other fat is wrong.
Okay.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
Always been
I
neutral.
agree.
Jada always been neutral, so it's fine.
Kamisha, you understand that's a form of body shaming, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Calling
It is
somebody
form of body
fat.
shaming. Yes, it is. I don't say that you should just outright call a man fat, but I'm just saying that most men are not fat. There's more women who are more obese than men. So it's rare to like see a man that's fat. So
That is
for a
actually
man to call a woman fat, I just find it very sensitive. That's it.
Let me ask you something. So you made a statement where you said men don't show emotions.
Yeah.
Do you see that as a good thing or is it a bad thing that they don't show emotions?
I mean, it could be both. Some men don't show emotions because they were raised that way to not show emotions. They were raised to be tough men. So, I mean, it is what it is.
So I asked you that question because I know women that see it as a bad thing because
Mm-hmm.
it becomes hard to communicate with somebody who doesn't show their emotion, who doesn't express their emotion. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
instances of women calling men fat or just basically placing men in a box because they say that they're men. So we're supposed to take things a certain way. We're supposed to always carry this sense of machismo with us that I think when society expects us to be a certain way, it exacerbates the problem. It keeps men the way they are, to where they don't express themselves because they feel like they can't, because they get labeled otherwise. They get labeled as whatever, sissies or whatever you may want to call them. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, somebody got some feedback going on. I don't know if somebody's on YouTube and on here at the same time. But I hear some feedback somewhere, some kind of reverberation.
Nope.
Reverberation. You hear that? Look, that's $80 in the Scrabble.
Is one of my friends logged on here?
Listen, this is what I'm saying, because it's evidently that it's a double standard that she's okay with. And like I was telling someone before, most people are okay with double standards when it's in their favor. You know, most people are okay with double standards when it favors them. When you're on the wrong side of the double standard, you don't want to.
Hey, yo, Vader. Women ask our age all the time. Why can't we ask a woman her age?
You wish.
This is the double standard. But yet again, we have this thing, equality, and women want to be treated as equals. This goes into a whole nother realm.
Yeah, let's not cross that street.
Don't go there.
Let's not cross that street, man. Equality is not what people actually think it is. Let's not cross that street.
So we got Righteous right here. Peace.
Peace, Righteous.
What do you think about this? Because she thinks it's okay for women to call men fat, but not men to call women fat.
Well, words are weapons. That's how you use it. That's just like that's like how people refer to themselves with niggas, bitches, cracker, whatever you want to use. It's at your disposal. If a person has an opinion saying men shouldn't call women fat, then women should not call themselves bitches. So the same thing, like white people say, if black people call themselves niggas, why can't we? My thing is try it and see what the reaction will be, and then you decide for yourself. I've been in plenty of situations where I like roasting people. I don't go for the obvious. That's just me. But if I do call a person fat, I expect something to come behind that. I accept the consequences. As far as it being a double standard, it depends who's receiving it. Disrespect should not go. It should be no disrespect, period. But it happens. It's the time we are in. This is the day and age we are in, where people feel they have the courage and the right to be disrespectful. I remember there was a time that was not happening.
Yes.
I remember a time when it was not happening. I'm 40 years old. I grew up. I grew up seeing you can't say particular things to particular people.
That's true.
Even being in grade school, when a person said your mama's fat, you can get beat up.
Yeah. You know what that meant. It was time to fight.
It was time to fight. Like, then I grew up during a time where men were dating women, and I wish another man would call another man's woman ugly. Time to fight. Like there were rules and regulations to engagement with words.
So
now there's no rules and regulations now.
But this is my thing. It's like I think society has become so soft where you can't really be honest with people. That's another thing. This is what gets me. Is like I have to tiptoe around every individual's feelings, and I can't be honest.
The truth hurts. Honesty doesn't. The truth is saying you're fat. Honesty is saying you're unhealthy.
Yo, Vader, but remember we had that conversation about people being fragile. You know what I'm saying?
It's the truth. You can look at a person and go, yo, you're fat. They're gonna look at you, I'm crazy. But if you go, yo, you eating unhealthily, that's being honest. That's like that's society nowadays.
And that's crazy. Like when you go out into the real world is harsh.
Yes, the real world is harsh for everybody. Everybody, even those that can wreck their language, that find a better approach to speak to somebody. It's even harsh for them. You high and mighty because you speak intellectually. Like what the hell?
you acting white because you getting an education or
Yeah, that's it.
Slang. Like,
The world is harsh for everybody. It's
But-
sad and sickening.
it's
sad and
It's
sickening.
sad, but it's also, I think it's also sad when I can't tell the truth. That's how I feel. I was like if it's somebody that I love, I should be able to say, listen, you're fat. This, I love you. I love you. Let's be like, listen, I love you, but you're fat, and this is unhealthy, and you're eating yourself to death. And nothing about fat is supposed to be good. Nothing about fat is supposed to be good. So when you try to say, when you try to tiptoe around it, she's big bone. First of all, I ain't seen no skeletons that had no extremely big bones.
Oh my God.
So it's like,
Hey, yo, Vader. So look, right? You can tell anybody anything. You can express yourself in life however you want to. But how receptible you think people are going to be to the message that you're trying to give them before they consider you to be a dick? Like, yo, why you got to do it like that? Winston Churchill spoke about tact, right? And he said tact is the ability to tell someone to go to hell in a way that they
saying it.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's very valuable to be able to use tact in dealing with people. We spoke before about how sensitive people really are. Like humans, period, are fragile. No matter how tough the exterior seems.
Male or female, yeah.
Male or female, you know what I'm saying? I understood what Kamisha was saying when she was like, listen, yo, y'all guys, y'all can take it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, Vader, when you speak about double standards, yeah, they exist, and they exist for reasons. You know, there are a lot of women who are going to share her point of view, because if you look at it historically, men have a history in which we've oppressed women.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now they're looking like, yo, now you act like you can't take some shit, and they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is definitely true.
Yeah. And also you see that it'd be more men in gyms as opposed to women, because men think of their image as, I need to look like this way and that way to get a woman. Women, like, we care about our image, but it's like we can get a guy regardless. However,
listen, there's a saying.
True. I'm sorry.
You can get a certain type of caliber guy.
Hey, no.
Regardless.
Listen. There's a motto I live by, which is true. Women can have sex with whomever they want. Men can have sex with women that they can. Mm-hmm. However, on the flip side, men can marry whomever they want.
Right.
And women can marry who they can. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's deep.
Because at the end of the day, listen, men settle with particular women for sex. They'll settle. They'll settle for any woman walking out with a vagina. On the flip side of that, women will settle for a man to settle down with just to say that they're married.
That's true. That is very true.
We all have associates, friends, and family members we see settle just not to be alone, or settle to say, I got this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So this is a motto I live by in everything I do, even in business. Even in business, it applies. Men can get particular things in business because they can. Mm-hmm. And women can get particular things in business because they want it. It's like the drive is different. The approach is different. Mm. So it's going to be a double standard. It doesn't matter in whose favor, heads or tails. There's going to be a double standard. Wisdom is a double-edged sword, and until people understand that, it's going to be that. They're always going to get cut.
That's true.
They're always going to get cut. I refuse to get cut.
All right, so now the next topic is, does marriage benefit men or women more?
All right, are we talking about financially? Are we talking about no, because marriage, I'm a married man, right?
Oh,
And
Okay.
I'm a married man, and here's the irony. I'm a married man married to a marriage counselor.
wow.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. Dead ass. So we like for my wife, when we have discussions, I used to in the beginning tell her let's not deduce our relationship as client. Like don't look at it as a case. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because her brain can click that quick. So when a person says who does it benefit, men or women, you gotta look at things like socially, financially, for the children, if there are any involved, lifestyle, depending how a person is living. And I like in the beginning, I told my like during that, like a few weeks ago, I told my wife, I said, yo, if you didn't have your first child, we would never meet. And she goes, how so? I go, because you're career driven.
Yeah.
Your career comes first. She's career driven like hell, and I applaud her for that. It's your first child that slowed you down enough for me to catch up to you. Because if you look at society nowadays, a lot of women are career driven, and the ones that are young don't have children, and they're going to the top. And if you meet an older woman without kids, it's because she chose her career. And there's a lot of women like that. And you ask a woman, yeah, why you don't got kids? And she'll be like, I don't know. There was never a person around that caught her eye. And truth is because she's career driven and focused that there was nobody on the same page as her. Same thing for men. If you meet a man 35 and 40 and doesn't have any children, 9 times out of 10, he's career driven or playing the field. He doesn't want to be tied down. He wants to get up and go anytime he wants. And that's usually how it works. For those that have children, that's us. Applaud, round of applause, because we decided to go. We want our story to have a to be continued. We want a legacy. So like,
I was reading a study, and they was talking about overall. They said when it comes, they said men benefit as far as they said men that's married are usually happier and healthier, and that they earn more. They said men that's married usually earn more and they live longer.
When you talk about the first year marriage?
Now this is from the Institute of Family Studies. That's what they said. All
right, cool. Here's a question. Yo, I love when people bring those studies in because I have to ask, are we talking about the first 3 years of marriage? Are we talking about the first 5 years of marriage? Are we talking about the first 10 years of marriage? Because I'm not gonna lie, again, me being a married man, me and my wife done had dark spots, dry spots. We done had our share of ups and our share of downs and lows. More so mental exhaustion over physical exhaustion, not learning each other's love language. So when people come up with these studies, you gotta ask the time frame and time period. Yeah. Because white people's culture is different. A white woman is undesirable if she is not in a committed relationship by the time she's 22 to 25. Yeah. And here's the proof. If you look at a married couple now and ask them when they got married, either in college, coming out of college, and they're 40 plus with the house, with the bank, and now they want to fall apart and get a divorce.
So you know what's crazy? How come black women don't do that? As far as like get married early and still pursue their education at the same time, like the white counterparts.
Then ask yourself, why don't black men do the same thing?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're being poisoned as a people. We're being poisoned. Mm-hmm. Here's a glimpse. Martin Luther King was 15 years old. He was in college, right?
Yeah.
Right? There was a lot of black people in college at 15. You know why? Because we had a schoolhouse, one classroom, from kindergarten to 12th grade, all in one classroom. The youngest in the front, the oldest in the back. Just like just like our degrees is being repetitive every year. The older you get, the closer you get to the door.
Yeah.
So when it's time for you to go, you out the door with your education. Well, white people educated different in their schoolhouse. The oldest and the strongest in the front, the weakest, the youngest in the back. And they look behind themselves to pull the strongest to the front. This is why you see nepotism with them. Oh, my cousin Joe, Uncle Bobby knows so-and-so, bring them in. With us, when we want to hire somebody, we go through a whole vetting process. Like, yo, who your friend? Where you hang out at? What's your energy levels? Can you pick up this? Can you read that? Can you type this? Because we hold ourselves to a different criteria than them. So, young black men like playing around because they get to touch, they get to get involved with their sexuality. Yeah. That's why we ain't marrying young, because no one's teaching us that.
And also because you guys are intimidated by a strong black woman. That's the problem. Yes.
No, sis.
I don't know why I keep saying that.
No, it's not even. It's not about a black woman.
I'm listening.
It's about a woman making more than a man. Men are intimidated by a woman being the main breadwinner in the house.
Some men.
That's a lie.
You shouldn't generalize it like that. You're making a blanket statement.
No, I'm not making a blanket statement, because that's why people get divorced. Men, okay, some men can't handle their women making more than them, so that becomes a problem.
What age bracket? What age bracket?
Any age bracket.
You can't say that. Hold on, listen. The reason why I say that is this: majority of men nowadays was raised just by their mother.
Okay.
All right. If a person was raised just by their mother, which is a woman, they're used to women taking care of them. If you look now, you got friends that take care of no good men. Who's intimidated by a female bringing in extra money?
But then at the end of the day, their pride. They go around their boys. They're like, "Oh, you got your woman paying for you. What kind of man are you?" Like,
nobody says that.
Not nowadays.
Not nowadays. Not nowadays.
Men are intimidated by a woman, a strong woman. Women that make more than a man, they get intimidated by it.
All right. All right. Can you give me a description of a strong woman?
A strong woman?
Your criteria of a strong woman.
Okay, so let's see. Oprah, for one example. Why she never got married to Stedman? She makes more than him. He can't get on her level. He's intimidated by her. No. You asked my opinion. I'm
listening.
Okay. I'm giving you my.
You get Oprah and Stedman. Go, let's go. I'm with you. Yo, listen. I'm with you. I'm right here with you. We're in the same car.
I'm trying to I'm like, where the hell are my friends at? I'm like getting ganged up on like 3 guys. I'm like, where's my homegirl at?
No, don't say that. I'm not ganging up on you.
No, you're not.
You're just not agreeing.
I'm like, where's my female reinforcements at? Like, Jada, come in here and help me.
All right, hey, I'm gonna help you out. Yo, it's not because Stedman was afraid to marry Oprah. Stedman never was afraid to marry Oprah. Oprah kept Stedman a secret.
Yeah.
Oprah kept Stedman a secret. You listen. I don't need Google. I would say before Google, I've been reading my entire life. Oprah said herself she keeps her relationship private. So what she does with him, he benefits. He's a billionaire, a quiet billionaire by himself because of his woman. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to sit there and say, "My woman take care of me." Stedman grew up in the 50s? He was born in the 19, I want to say 49, 51, between that. They were never afraid to sit there and say, "Yeah, my woman does the work." Not him. And he's from Chicago too. Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, all have the mindset of women gonna take care of me. So not Stedman. He come out of a different class.
You know what I don't think it's that men feel intimidated by women. who are highly educated or self-sufficient who are breadwinners. What I think it is that these women try to emasculate a man because he makes less. And they don't look at him as a man because he doesn't make that money. Because in society is rough on men. If you're not a breadwinner, then you're projected as not being really a man.
If you're not a provider,
breadwinner, provider, you're not really considered a man in society. Even though there's a lot of things that constitute being a man besides just providing
your own money, but
that's how it is. And then you have to realize, in this system that we live in, this system of white supremacy, right now they're uplifting the black women and they shooting down the black man. So that's causing division. That's by design.
That's not by happenstance. That's by design.
That's by design that black women are making more than black men. That's by design. To cause friction amongst us.
Yo, here's something that no one ever looks at, right? Women tell men, get out your feelings. You laugh because you said it before. Right? And
I have said that, yeah.
Right. Here's the damage it does. And some people don't look at it like that. Women acts of men. To this very day, women ask men to be more sensitive, more understanding to their feelings, more compassionate, more romantic, soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
When a man decides to take the opportunity to be transparent, and to me that's a toxic word, right? When a man decides to be transparent with a woman and let his guard down and let her into his world and shows his compassionate side, you know what she says to him? You and your feelings. Get out your feelings, right? And you know what that does to a man? It bottles him up. And when a man bottles up his feelings or his emotions, he expresses it in two ways: in violent behavior or in sex. That's it. So violent behavior can be abusive and sex can be also abusive. That's how men express themselves, because at times most men, and I mean this, are immature on how to express their feelings.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's going to lead us into the next question. Is there a double standard between raising boys and girls? Now, I want to touch on that because you was talking about how men express themselves, and most of the times, growing up as children, we're told, little boys, stop.
Don't cry.
That's what little girls do. Man up. Stop whining like a little bitch. Like, mothers say this to their sons. This is not just fathers. Mothers, grandmothers. How many times has a woman told you that growing up as a child?
Oh, I got rained on with that.
Yeah, like you have women be raised. Look, the sons, nephews, and grandsons with this. So now when we grow up, we're closed off. We don't know how to express ourselves. Once again, we're going to either express ourselves either happy or anger.
That's it.
That's about it. So
and
now,
these are the very lessons that we teach our sons in turn, because they're the ones that's taught to us.
Exactly.
So we pass down poison.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's what happens. If you feel men are afraid to commit, if you feel men are afraid to be with a woman because she makes more than them, then you gotta look at the woman and what they say to men, because it actually starts with the woman first before it comes to the man. They make us the primary because we men, we strength, we supposed to defend and protect, but it starts somewhere. It starts from somewhere. That tree produces poisonous fruit when they utter the wrong words. So if a woman wants a good man, stop being a bag selector. Don't put the man that's interested in you in the friend zone and go after what is appealing cosmetically. Because they friends on all the good men. Just friends on them. oh, I like this thuggish dude over here. You know, he get money, he drive a car. He going to jail soon. Some of the 9 to 5 is still paying bills, got taxes coming. He trying to take you out on a real date and not try to fly you somewhere. And next week he in jail, or you're in jail playing with the alphabet boys. But that's another time.
Ooh,
This is another thing. This is what I realized about our culture is that, especially, they raise little girls to be strong and independent
Absolutely.
all the time. They always raise little girls to be strong and independent, do for yourselves, know how to think. But when it comes to raising us, it's completely opposite. Either you're babying us, you know what I'm saying? You're doing our laundry, you're cooking for us. We're not learning how to cook. We're not you're doing everything for us. So now, when I become grown, what you expect me to expect from a woman that I'm dealing with?
And take care of him.
To take care of me, because my mother took care of me, my grandmother took care of me, my older sisters, everybody babied me, everybody bought me the freshest kicks, the flyest clothes. I'm mama's little man. What you expect? When I become an adult,
it also plays a part into like single moms. Like if they don't have a father figure in their life, what do you expect?
And you absolutely
have a male figure in your life in order for you to prosper. So women who are raised, like girls that are raised by women, we taught by our moms, like, you don't need no guy. Look what, like, he's not around. Look at your father. He wasn't here. You do it for yourself. You fend for yourself. You learn. That's how you become mature.
And you know what that does? I'm going to tell you what that does. That same little young girl grows up with the same mindset that she does not need a man, end up pregnant by said man, and does everything psychologically in her power to push said man away. Arguing with him, bickering, nagging. You're supposed to be like so-and-so. If so-and-so doing it, why we not doing it? And that pushes that man away. And he gets the fuck you complex because that little girl learned from her poisonous mother that she does not need a man to prosper with her children because she did it by herself. And you know what? Girls go, since my mother raised me by herself, I can raise mine by myself. And here we go again. The same tree, same poison, producing the same fruit. You better call your friends.
I get into myself. But also, you know what? It's okay. I get into myself. My friends, they can come later. I'll deal with them later. It's also
Jada Free here.
I know, Jada. Thank you. But also,
Jada don't want to smoke.
But also, the reason why it could also be a 2-parent household. So, boom. Prime example. My grandmother was like,
y'all get them lights up. No, I was telling to get them lights up.
My grandmother was soft on my uncle because my grandfather was tough on my uncle. My grandfather was like, why you raising him like a sissy? Why you gotta be more rough on him? My grandfather saw him in the box and said, when he went outside and got beat up, his first fight, he said, you better go back outside and beat that person up or I'm gonna beat you up. So my grandmother had to nurture him because my grandfather was tough. That's also can be that's also how it can be in a household. The mom can take the role of raising the boy underneath their wing because the father be beating their ass.
But see, this is what I also realized. Even if both parents are there, the mother still babies the son.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Even if the father is there and he's doing his part.
Right.
She's still going to baby him. And I think
as she should.
But not to that extent, though.
All right, cool.
Living hell out of them.
All right. Hold on, no. There's a balance.
Once he becomes grown, he's going to expect from other women, the women that he's dealing with, he's going to expect the exact same thing from his mother.
Not at all. If you say his father is in the household and he's a fully engaged father, he's not going to expect that from another woman because he sees how his father and his mother interact. So he's not going to expect that. That's a reward for a son from his mother if he does well or if he does bad. It's a little bit of encouraging. I'm a father. I got children. Me and my wife. She nurtures the kids while I discipline them. I guide them. I teach them.
But the fathers are more softer to their daughters as opposed to their
I
sons.
have daughters.
And the mothers are
That's
more
off my
head.
awkward with their sons than their daughters. I've seen that. That's in
That
that
is
most of the
definitely
time.
true.
I agree with you, but you know what it is for me? Like a lot of this is psychological trauma that's been passed down. Like if
Right.
you look historically, when they used to break slaves, they used to listen, they didn't care how big and black a dude was. They used to
Right.
break him. And when they broke him, right, they made sure to beat him in front of his woman and his child. And they did it for a reason. Because they wanted the mother in her raising that youth. Listen, I need to instill a message, right? That he needs to stay in his lane. He doesn't need to speak back. He listen, when he walk by master, you make sure you train that boy. I shouldn't have to tell him to put his head down. He should already know to put his head down. You know what I'm saying? So that disrupted the black family itself. And so a lot of what we see today is just that trauma just passed down. So the things that I'm going to ultimately instill in my kids have to do with my perception on the world, the way I was brought up, and the things that may have happened generations ago, but that was instilled in me that I may not even clearly understand the significance of it, the significance of my actions today, and why I treat my daughter the way I do, the way I treat my son the way I do. But these things exist, and I think we really need to look into the history of it all, you know, to understand what we're doing today. You know, do double standards exist when it comes to raising boys and girls? They do.
Hell
I even
yeah.
understand that about myself. I'm gonna raise my son in ways that I'm not necessarily gonna raise my daughter. Yes, because I want there's this image, right, of how I need my son to be. I want my son to be strong.
Yeah.
How I define strong, that's another topic in and of itself.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely.
And everybody has their own tactics on how they're gonna toughen them up.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But then that also plays into the part. Yeah, that also plays into the part of the men think that you have to be this macho man image. And that also can bring into the part of a man not being able to express his sexual identity. He's
I'm glad you just said that.
I
want to ask you a question. No, look, I want to ask you a question. Based on what you just said, right?
Yes.
Your daughter, you have your daughter with you. You're in a toy store. She asked for the Tonka truck. Would you buy your daughter the Tonka truck?
Yeah, why not?
Now you with your son.
Buy him a Barbie doll?
He wants the Barbie doll. Would you buy him the Barbie doll?
I don't have kids. It's not about me.
I was waiting.
I'm not going there. I'm not gonna do that. I'll let my friends answer that question. I need my backup, y'all.
that's the double standards we talk about.
I'm just asking.
That's a double standard. And that's a double standard.
That's double standards we talk about.
Yes, if he wants a Barbie doll, by all means, he can have a Barbie doll. He can have a Barbie doll if he wants a Barbie doll.
Hey, listen, don't say yes if you don't feel it.
No, listen, because at the end of the day, it's the toy, okay? But I'm just saying, like, it is what it is, okay?
Nah, it's not what it is. Don't agree when you don't agree. Don't agree when you don't. Because if you ask a man, he gonna say he gonna say hell no, because no man wants to know his legacy can be deaded with a poor decision. No man wants to know his legacy can end with a bad decision.
You already said legacy. Men are real big on legacy. At least
right. Listen, not
all men.
No,
listen. Yes, listen. Hear me out. It is.
I'm live.
Subconsciously, it is like, boom. Case in point. Deadbeat father, right? Deadbeat father has a bunch of kids. That's his legacy.
Okay.
Right? So his kids grow up doing the same thing. And he's encouraging it because they do encourage it. You like your old man, chip off the old block. You just like me. He'll be disappointed if one of his sons become in a committed relationship and get married. He'll be disappointed because that's not his diluted legacy. Men are big on consistency and legacy. If you want to know why some relationships fail, is because women at times become inconsistent, and it makes a man go, She's not the right one. She's not the right one. It's because she's not consistent. Men are big on consistency. Ask any man you know. He has a routine. He wakes up at this time. He does this at this time. They very anal with time. Men are just like that with consistency.
That's bullshit.
Oh, no, it's not. No, listen, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Men
Yo,
are
listen.
not consistent with time. I don't know what planet you. I don't know. You probably older, right? But not these young men. Absolutely not.
What's she saying?
She's like, you
Yo.
probably older.
Sorry. There's men that are like CP
Like he's
time.
60.
They are late to everything. Trust me. No.
Late to things that are not important.
No, the things are important too. Yes. Okay, Jada. Okay. Thank you.
Jada type her answers and she don't want to come.
I know. I'm just like,
You don't want to hop in the live. I'm trying to get Jada in the
Lions
live.
Den right now. I'm the Lions Den. All my friends is like texting. I'm the Lions by myself. It's okay. I can handle it.
Yo, you're a superwoman. You got it. They cheering you on. I'm cheering you on.
I hold it down. I'm holding it down for us.
You're doing your thing. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. But in truth, like men are big on consistency and legacy. They're big on that. As a
not
man,
legacy, though. Not all men, though. Not all men.
Not all, man. Of
Not
course.
all men.
You
oh,
can't generalize.
Not all men.
we can't.
Not all
But check
men.
this out. Check this out. Being that we're talking about this, the double standard raising boys and girls, this is the one.
Oh my goodness.
Single moms raising their sons to be fuck boys.
Okay, ladies, I'm gonna need y'all help on this one.
Let's get with that.
All right, yo. Here's my take on it. I feel the fathers are leaving their sons to be raised as fuck boys because if he's not around, then he dropped the ball.
Yeah.
If that man is not around, he dropped that ball for his son to be a fuck boy. Now,
Sons definitely need their fathers.
Now, I can't speak on if he had an untimely demise. I can't speak on if he ended up in prison. But if this man is a free individual, a live free individual, and not involved in his child's life or his son's life, then he decided his son to grow up to be a fuck boy. He made a decision. If a child grows up to be just like his dad in the street, then he failed as a father. And again, he made this conscious decision to have his boy grow up to be a fuck boy. That's my take on that.
Nah, she want to join in.
Yes, Jada, please.
You have to send her the link that I sent you.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now, Jada, because I'm gonna double team it.
I took your side because that's how I feel. It starts somewhere. I wouldn't say women are raising sons to be fuck boys because there's no man around. It's just her. You know, a woman can only raise a son to the design of a man she would want for herself, for a girl that she might see as herself. I don't think she can raise a young boy to be a man for all women in general. I don't see that.
This is the thing. Most women, when they raise their sons, they baby their sons. And they fall short when it comes to raising their son as opposed to raising their daughter. So it's like most of the time, like I said, boys fall short. So it's like a boy might not have to do his laundry. He might not have to do chores. The girl will have to do. The boy might just have to take out the trash. That's it. The girl gonna have to clean for everybody. She gonna have to cook for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then most women instill in their sons that when you get older, you're gonna take care of me. You're gonna take care of me. Not take care of your family, but you're gonna take care of me. That is still something in the boy. Most women pride themselves on their sons putting them first before anything.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what
That's
saying?
true.
Like, that's why I be confident between mother and the wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if the son is indoctrinated from what the mother done taught, then he's gonna be a fuckboy.
But also the mother, also it plays a part when you said the part about the son being dependent on the mom. it's also like when NBA players, when they make it, draft day, mama sitting right next to them, like, oh, I'm about to get paid. You're going to take care of me for the rest of my life. They expect that. But when does it come a point where the son said, okay, mama, I gave you millions already. What more should I do for you? If he's trying to start a family of his own, when can his wife be a priority? That's the part where the mothers fail to realize is that wife
the thing. Most, and I'm not gonna say all mothers, but most mothers do not teach sons how to take care of or how to treat a woman.
Mm-hmm.
No, they teach them how to take care of a woman that resembles them.
Resembles them.
Mm.
It's not most women. It's like it's mothers teaching their sons how to take care of women just like them. Like here's a saying we hear a lot: "Oh, you just like my mother," or a girl will go, "You just like my pops." Or that's the mirror. That's the reflection right there.
Listen, I want to pull up this article. Pull up this article. This is written by a sister, and it's called I think it's called "Fuckboy Epidemic."
Article, by the way. It's a good article. I read it earlier today. It was good.
I'll pull this up. So
Veda got outside sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called "Fuckboy Epidemic" and the mothers who raised them.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Oh
so I'm not gonna read all of it, but I'm gonna just read a little bit. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna hit you with this one. Let me see. Okay, we go a little bit further. All right, so she's talking about a dude who's with his girlfriend, and he put his hands on his girlfriend, and the girlfriend kicked the boy out. So the boy's mother called the girlfriend, beefing with her about putting the boyfriend out, making sure the boyfriend get all his stuff out the house. You know what I'm saying? So the author of the article was talking about, she said, okay, so now she's asking, she wants to know, for starters, my question is, why the fuck is a grown feel like it's all right to address a son's girlfriend as her peer? Okay, let me get into this thing. Okay, here's here. Women from birth are taught to be strong, resilient, smart, capable, independent. However, boys are allowed to fall short, yet and still, women are taught to accept their inadequate behavior. As women, we are programmed to take their shit. We are taught that's just a man being a man. We are expected to be patient and wait for them to grow up while taking all of their emotional baggage, building them up while they tear us down. Why is that? I sincerely believe that the part of the problem is the stupid ass mamas babying them all their lives.
Oh my goodness. That's stupid ass mamas. Good Lord.
Did you read it? Did you read it all? You said you read it. Did you read it all?
I did, but I forgot that part. I was like,
and expecting their sons to take care of her. These mothers raise their sons to be their man instead of preparing them to be someone else's husband. I've heard mothers brag about their sons taking care of them and how they are the first in their sons' lives. They teach them that they're responsible for taking care of the family they come from, but not the one that they created.
Mm.
So that's just to go into the little thing right there. So what do y'all feel about that? That little piece of article that I dabbled in.
It has a ring of truth to it. It has a ring of truth to it.
I think so. You know what's crazy? The women are our first teachers. Even if the father's in the house, the woman is your first teacher. You're going to learn a lot from your mother. The first things you learn from your mother. And what I realized about women, most women can't stand other women. They say it. Most women are not friends with a lot of women, and they let it be known. I don't like that bitch. I don't like hanging. That's why I don't like hanging with women, because women ain't shit. This, that, and the third. We hear that.
We hear that. We don't act like you don't hear it.
We hear that. And being a child, we're like recorders. So we record that information subconsciously. We hear that.
I mean, Jada, you want to take this one?
Save her, Jada. Save her.
I'm just saying.
Jada, you want to take this one?
Save her, Jada. Get in the ring or get under the wing.
Put Jada on the spot like that.
Because I've been playing this spot all night.
Get in the ring or get under the wing, Jada. Let's go.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's go.
Jada, we can tag team them.
Nah, but I sincerely believe that women do contribute to their sons being fuckboys. I'm quite sure. Okay, I'm not gonna say all women. It's all women's fault that their sons are fuckboys. I'm not gonna say that. But majority of the fuckboys out there is because of their mamas. It's because of their grandmamas. It's because of their older sister, their aunties. All of them babying them.
All right, but where's the dad at? We can give that. Listen, I have no problem dropping the blame in somebody's lap when it calls for it. But at the end of the day, if the father did not pass away or end up in jail and he's out there being a free man, then it falls on him. It falls on him. He made that conscious decision to have his son grow up to be a fuckboy, to be anything, to be anything of lesser than what a man is. His dad made the decision for him, and his mother's only going to work with what she got.
Right.
I've learned that. I have learned that in my years of growing up, being on the wrong side of the fence and being on the right side of the fence. It's a conscious decision made by a man whether he wants to be in the child's life or not.
Right.
Yeah.
We both listen, yo, 7. You and I both was in prison. We were somebody else's father, somebody else's brother. We were somebody else's uncle. We were every male title in prison to somebody else. We are around fathers that got children that still act like children themselves. So again, if the man is not free, then they're not part of this conversation. But if that man is free out there in them streets and he's not involved in his kid's life, he did that to his kid.
Yep.
He did that.
Yep.
You know the African proverb that says it takes a village?
It takes a village. Yeah, so and that crazy is the village.
Neighbors, the aunties, the grandmothers, the friends.
Yep, it takes a village.
It's the community itself is so messed up and so broken that the kids that's growing up in these communities, it's like they internalize everything they see from their homeboys, the drug dealer on the corner, the stuff the auntie is teaching them, the mama. Dad may or may not be around. Dad may be around. He might be a fuckboy himself.
Right.
That's true.
Bad selection. That's bad selection.
Yeah. So it's
right
so
about that.
Yeah. Like the village we live in now. How many villages we know of where it's only one solid man in that whole entire village that the women acknowledge? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like how many like I live in Albany, New York right now, right? And I have to applaud where I live at because there are a lot of qualified men taking care of their responsibilities.
That's what's up.
Right? However, on the flip side of that, there's a lot of empty households without dads there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the village is nothing but women and little kids. And you have little boys pretending to be men.
Yeah.
Making irrational decisions because they think they're a man.
Yeah.
So, if the village is all women, what you expect?
Yeah.
Yo, 2 things only happen between 2 people. Somebody doing the teaching, somebody doing somebody's being taught. If a young boy's in a house with all women, he's being taught by women.
Yeah.
He's being taught by women. So he's going to take on women's attributes, women's ways. Either he's going to come out straight or he's not going to come out straight. One of the two.
But it also plays a part into also like the young girls as well. Like if they're raised by their mom, you know, and they'd have no father figure, they can be a hoe. They can have a kid at 15,
Right.
16, and then that's why they be a single mother just like their mother. And that's how the pattern's still going on. So a lot of young girls that are having babies at 15, 16, especially where my grandmother lived at, that's like the norm. It's because they mom had them when they were young, so they don't know any better. They don't have a father figure, and if they did, whoever they had sex with, he's a young boy, so he's not gonna be in her life. He wasn't taught that. The mother like, I'm not taking care of your fucking child. You go take care of their child yourself. Then they go on child support. Then they're like, oh, what's child support? Garnish it out of your paycheck. Then they don't get a job because they don't want to pay child support. That's the problem.
Right. You're absolutely right about that.
Hello. Come on, Jada. You gotta help me out, girl. Like
I mean,
Yeah, like no, that raising a boy, that raising a son to be a fuck boy, it starts with the dad first. He got to be there.
I don't
If
think
he's not,
that it's, I think that it's mother and father. Like, I don't think that it's just the mother's fault if the son comes out that way. It's also learned behavior. He can be influenced by his friends.
Yeah.
Look at the time we're living in. My little brother wasn't raised to be no fuck boy, but he's acting like one.
Yeah.
You feel me? And he's only 18, and he was not raised like that at all. You feel me?
Yeah.
He wants to fit in. So it's not always like the mom and dad's fault, because he has both figures in his life, like, and they teach him the right way. They ain't perfect, but he's influenced right now. You know, it's just the time we're living in.
that's how it's supposed to be.
Is it?
Yeah, really, because at a particular age, you stop listening to what's going on in the house, and you want to start paying attention to what's going on outside the house.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of listen. Were you on your own at 15, 16? Or did you think you were on your own at 15 or 16?
I know I thought I was grown.
Right. So that you automatically stop listening to what's going on in the house once you start thinking you was grown. When you had your first sip of alcohol. Yeah. When you smoked your first cigarette. When you experiment with your first taste of lust, you thought you was grown. Yeah. So you stop listening to what's going on in the house and you get influenced with what's going on outside the house. That's part of that. That is part of the growing process.
You're right about
That's
that.
part of the growing process.
You start rebelling against what you was taught.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what's happening.
That's crazy.
No, we just not taking the time to sit there and correct our friends or associates. Like, yo, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You know, like I tell everybody, depending on what time you grew up in, you got punched in your mouth for disrespecting your parents. Your friends didn't. Your friends didn't cheer you on fighting your mother and father. They beat you up. Like, you don't touch mom.
Or cursing at them, calling them bitches and stuff. Who does that?
Yeah. Nowadays, it's not because it's not taught. It's not taught in the household. It's not perpetuated in schools. It's not perpetuated in social areas such as like the gym, the basketball courts, going to McDonald's. Is not perpetuated to have respect. How many of y'all was waiting on the line of the bus and a group of kids just jump in front of y'all? Like how many of y'all stopped and go, no respect? How many of y'all stopped and go, you don't do that? You know, people just fall silent and let it happen. You know, silence is agreeance to the fuckboy shit. So until people start having courage to check it because they're trying to avoid a conflict.
That's the thing. Nowadays, these little kids will put their hands on you.
Right. Listen, that's intimidation. It's not about them putting their hands on you. Listen, these are punks. These kids
carry guns.
Not everybody carrying a gun. Not everybody swinging a razor.
That's true.
It's an intimidation tactic, man. I've learned. I grew up nothing in the jungle, and when I'm addressing these youth, you gotta talk their language. Either you stop them like an adult, or listen, you don't do that.
Yeah.
They might say some slick shit, but at the end of the day, you stand your ground. Nah, that's not respectful. You don't do that. You young, you
And then
black.
when they get into serious trouble, like if they rob somebody or they kill somebody and they gotta go to jail, then they're gonna cry for their mama. Their mama don't come visit their ass. Then what they gonna do? Then
Yeah.
it's the mentality. Their mama don't raise them for like what you gonna do when you do your consequences, when you out there being a bad boy.
Consequential thinking. Consequential
Exactly.
thinking.
Who you gonna lean on when you go to prison? Your mom not gonna come. They be like, I'm not coming out there in that 7-hour drive.
They
Come
do.
see you.
They
They
do.
do.
They
Some
do.
mamas do. Some
do.
don't though. Some don't. Some
I'm
cut
not
them
gonna lie,
off.
mine didn't.
Some cut
Mine
them
did. Yo,
off.
mine did.
didn't.
They call that tough
Not gonna
love.
lie.
They call that
Tough
tough
love.
love.
I felt every
Mine
bit of
did.
it too.
You gotta learn.
I felt every bit of it.
Like
Every bit.
they like you grown enough to do the crime. Now you do grown enough to
Yeah.
do the crime. Point blank. You gotta learn somehow. The mothers that go up there, they still are enabling them. When they get out, they're gonna be fuck boys. They don't want to get a job. They don't want to do anything. They want to stand with their mom. That's a problem.
They went in fuck boys. They're gonna come out fuck boys.
For real.
For real. Like for real. Like don't put intended. You go in that way, you're gonna come out that way. I don't care what gang you claim or how big you think you are. You walked in a fuck boy, you come out a fuck boy. It is what it is. I seen it. I see it to this day. Oh, you right? I was up top doing it. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't.
Stop it. But
Stop
listen,
it.
everybody, thank you. Thank you for joining in. We at the hour mark. I'm about to shut it down. I appreciate everybody for the comments, showing love. Appreciate it, y'all. Thank
No
you.
problem, G. You're welcome,
I
man.
enjoyed this.
Everybody have a
I
good night.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
DJ.
The next one is going to be about voting. We're going to do something about
Yeah.
voting.
Yeah, I'm not voting. Don't even put me in there.
And that,
I don't like neither. I don't like
not
neither.
going for Biden
and this is what we're going to talk about because I'm not voting either. But
I don't
some
like
people-
either one of them, honestly.
we
And I
definitely
have
going to
my
talk about that in the next one.
All right.
Thank y'all, man, for coming in.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.
Let me exit out this thing. Exit.